So, does Marvel's latest film, Wakanda Forever,
Actually, Wakanda Forever is good, and y'all just saying to be brutally honest. Okay, I'm gonna be real with you guys. I'm in the middle of a lot of videos, but with Kevin Conroy dying, some of them are kinda badly timed. So, in an attempt to get some serotonin, I'm gonna talk about Wakanda Forever, which has no controversy whatsoever. First, let's talk about the plot, then I'm going to talk about the complaints people got, and then I'm going to rewrite it because it's actually pretty good. Alright? Alright. So, what's the plot? Following the death of T'Challa from a mysterious ailment, Shuri and her mother have to step to the plate to handle Wakanda and the world trying to take its resources, thinking without the Black Panther, Wakanda has weakened. Not backing down, the US searches for vibranium through other means deep in the sea, where Namor fends them off, trying to keep his society a secret. Demanding that Wakanda join forces with him by giving Namor, the scientist behind the device finding vibranium, Shuri and the gang have to find a way to keep their defenses, culture, and morale strong in the face of conflicting tides. So that's basically it. Later on, I'm going to go into spoiler territory, but I'm going to touch loosely on the criticisms of the film first, then go into detail of the film. Don't worry, these critiques won't spoil the movie fully. Critique 1. The underwater world looks boring / didn't get enough screen time. Talokan, the underwater civilization ruled by Namor, is admittedly hard to see at times. The people behind the film wanted to make it realistic, so of course deep in the sea, it's going to be dark. But it would do some good if there was some light to appreciate the beauty of the kingdom. I also think if we had more time with the kingdom, we would feel more attached to it. Out of the common complaints, I get this one the most. Critique 2. The movie is too long. 2 to 3 hours can feel long, but it was fine for me since it was focused on grief and feelings of the family and the importance of Black Panther's death. Critique 3. Some characters do not have the same weight behind them. I kinda get this one too since we have so much time but way too many things to cover. And that does not give much time for the characters. Riri is kind of the obvious example of this since he shows up pretty good in the beginning, but kinda gets lost in the wayside by the obviously big plot in the middle of the film. To boot, some characters could have been cut. Everett Ross and contested scenes could have been cut, but they gotta promote their shows and shit. And while I do agree Riri could be forgotten easily in the film, I will say this. If you think this girl's a Mary Sue, I'll be real with you, then y'all ain't seen the other characters in MCU, and y'all just gonna forget about Shuri and the entire character franchise and everything else, huh? Critique 4. The villain is not that strong. This is kinda meh to me, but I get it. Namor's gonna be compared to Killmonger, and let's be real, Black Panther was the Killmonger show. So I get there's kinda uneven comparison between the two, but Namor is a lot more subtler than Killmonger, which, admittedly, it's not saying much. Namor is mirroring Wakanda's defensiveness from the world like in the first film, but they actually have real trauma from the surface world. So it makes sense with Namor's viewpoint, but with the film getting a bit messy at times, it kinda muddies the whole thing. But he is pretty goddamn good. I'm going to mispronounce his name. Tanuka Hirota?
Hi guys, my name is Tenoch Huerta. I'm an actor. I'm in Gainesland, this fantastic gym in San Jeronimo, Mexico City, and this is part of my routine.
I am probably trying my best to sound like a freaking weeb, forgive me, God. Plays Namor and is pretty good when it comes to giving a performance with a guy having paranoia and empathy. All to put out here, his body is fine, the dad bod is fine. If you're mad that someone is fit, looks realistic, not juiced up, I don't know what to tell you. This is gonna be real. Critique 5. Too many themes. The film does have a lot of themes that it touches on, and the hype of the film and its length may have been a misdirection there. There's a lot of themes and how ambitious the film is, but it doesn't check all the boxes perfectly. Critique 6. Blackmail Erasure. This is dumb and it shouldn't be taken seriously. Okay, look. With math backing me up here, there are only 2 male characters from the previous film here that matters, M'Baku and Everett. While other 4 are gone, T'Challa, Killmonger, T'Chaka, and W'Kabi, The film is focused on Shuri, Ramonda, Okoye, Nakia, and the so happenings of having a black female-focused military. So, process of elimination leaves the cast with predominantly female. Sorry, not sorry, but this complaint is just not it. If it's wrong for black women to get one film for them, then whatever. Critique 7. The movie is boring and has some plot holes. Like I said, the film wants to talk about several things, and it can be a bit much. It's subtle, like I said, but I can see some folks say that things were all over the place, and technically you could argue that the main villain shouldn't have been what they chose. Those who watch the film, you know what I'm talking about. But, I'm fine with a few quote-unquote plot holes, but not wanting to spoil much. I see them more like nitpicks more than anything else. Do note here, the next 2 points are going to be kind of spoilers. One's a bit more obvious than the other, but I'm going to try my damnedest, so forgive me on that. But yeah, I can't guarantee, so click here to skip through, just in case to get to the part where I talk good about the film. So, for spoiler number 1, Shuri being the Black Panther was the most obvious choice in the matter. Even though I hear some people say that Nakia would have been a better option, which admittedly does make more sense, but having Shuri being the main character in the face of grief is actually interesting. Her realizing the importance of both tradition and science is actually pretty interesting. Giving her the sense of rage and mourning her brother is pretty goddamn good. I do think it's a bit shaky, but it gave her kind of a Peter Parker from No Way Home kind of energy. And I like that, to be brutally honest. Critique 9. Commercialism. The other spoiler is pretty much within the film showing off for Disney shows and such. And I'll be real, this is what drags the film's energy. Like I said, the scenes with Everett could have been handled differently, where he's more in the plot, but But that ending credits scene did make me feel away, not gonna lie, and you just had to be reminded, this is a Marvel film. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. So, what do I like about the film? Since I've been pretty much defending it, I guess I've maybe even considered this even defending. Well, everything else. Shuri's freaking great. The fight scenes are good. The comedy was mostly used well. Angela Bassett was fucking amazing. Gave a new cultural perspective that gave actual representation, which, hey, I'm always down for that shit. And for the direction it seems to be going, it could lead to a political drama, which is my crack cocaine. I love Civil War, so the idea that this could lead to a political stakes in the MCU is always welcomed as it gives away the whole world. And on top of that, here's the thing to talk about Marvel for a second.
It's finally one drama that you don't need to watch the fucking shows for.
So yeah, 10 out of 10, go see Angela Bassett boobs.